Welcome back to Whispers of Legacy. In this episode, The Birth of the Pandavas, we unravel the story of how these 5 extraordinary brothers came into existence, shaped by divine intervention, destiny, and the trials of forest life. Pandu, a skilled archer and noble king, often found solace in hunting trips. But one day in the depths of the forest, he encountered a situation that would alter his destiny and that of the Kuru dynasty. While wandering the forest, Pandu's eyes fell upon 2 deer locked in an intimate moment. Without hesitation, Pandu aimed his bow and released 5 arrows with unerring precision, striking the deer. To Pandu's shock, the deer transformed into humans, a rishi named Kindama and his wife, who had taken the form of deer to seek privacy from the eyes of men. Pandu was horrified at what he had done. In his dying moments, Kindama's voice was filled with both sorrow and anger. "You have committed a terrible act, O king. You shot us in our moment of joy, breaking the laws of hunters. A hunter does not kill an animal that is pregnant or engaged in mating. Because of this cruel act, I curse you. If you ever embrace your wife with desire, you shall meet the same end as us. You will die instantly." Stricken with guilt and sorrow, Pandu felt the weight of the curse settle over him. He knew that as long as the curse stood, he could never touch his wives, and without children, the future of the Kuru dynasty was in jeopardy. The curse plagued Pandu's mind. In deep despair, he decided to give up his kingship. Stepping down from the throne, Pandu left Hastinapura, choosing instead a life of penance and simplicity in the forest. Kunti and Madri, his loyal wives, followed him without hesitation. Together, they crossed rivers and mountains, journeying far from the royal life they had known. They reached the Shatashringa mountain, where Pandu immersed himself in severe penance, trying to find peace within the simplicity of forest life. Yet one worry continued to torment him, the thought of leaving the Kuru dynasty without an heir. Despite Pandu's dedication to his new life, the absence of children weighed heavily on him. One day, his frustration grew unbearable, and he expressed his despair to Kunti. "Without children," Pandu said, "our lineage will end. My brother Dhritarashtra's children cannot succeed the throne, and I am cursed. If none of you bear children, the Kuru dynasty will be lost forever." In that moment, Kunti revealed a long-held secret. "When I was a young girl, the sage Durvasa visited my father's house. Pleased with my service, he gave me a sacred mantra. With this mantra, I can summon any god to bless me with a child." Pandu's eyes lit up with hope. "Then let us summon Dharma, the god of righteousness," he said. "We need a child who will be the embodiment of virtue and justice to lead the Kuru dynasty." Kunti chanted the sacred mantra, and from the heavens descended Dharma, also known as Yama, the god of death and justice. Shortly after, Kunti gave birth to a beautiful child, a son destined for greatness. As the infant cried his first breath, a heavenly voice proclaimed, "This child will be known as Yudhishthira. He will be righteous, just, and a great king who upholds Dharma." Yudhishthira's birth brought new hope to Pandu. The child was the first of Pandu's sons, a beacon of light in their troubled times, and a promise that the Kuru dynasty would continue. As time passed, Pandu's desire for a powerful heir grew stronger. Having already fathered a righteous son in Yudhishthira, Pandu now sought strength for his lineage. One day, he turned to Kunti with a new request. "Summon Vayu, the god of wind," Pandu urged. "Through him we shall have a son of unparalleled strength." Answering her call, Vayu descended from the heavens, his presence fierce and majestic. Swept away by his divine power, Kunti and Vayu traveled through realms beyond the earth. They crossed towering mountains and deep oceans, reaching the ethereal Kshirasagara, the ocean of milk. In that mystical realm, Vayu revealed to Kunti the wonders of the universe. He showed her how day and night occurred across the globe and spoke of distant lands with civilizations filled with great sages, warriors, and seers. In this divine moment, Kunti conceived a son with Vayu, a child destined to be the strongest man on earth. When Bhima was born, a divine voice echoed through the skies, "This child will be the strongest of them all." As Kunti cradled her newborn son, she marveled at the power within him. But as fate would have it, Bhima soon demonstrated his strength in a way none could have imagined. To their amazement, the infant fell to the ground with a thunderous impact, and the very earth beneath him shattered. From that moment, Pandu and Kunti knew their son Bhima would grow to possess unparalleled strength. On that same day, in the halls of Hastinapura, Gandhari bore her eldest son, Duryodhana, signaling the beginning of a rivalry that would shape the future of the Kuru dynasty. Though content with the birth of 2 sons, Pandu could not shake the desire for more. His thoughts turned toward a dream greater than any before. A child who would be invincible, a supreme warrior who would bring glory to the Kuru dynasty. "Kunti," he said one day, "let us summon Indra, the king of gods. Only he can give us a son who will be unmatched in prowess and skill." For an entire year, Pandu devoted himself to prayer and penance, seeking Indra's favor. At last, Indra, the king of the gods, appeared before him. "I am pleased with your devotion," Indra said. "You shall have a son born of me, and he will be the greatest warrior the world has ever seen. He will conquer all the kingdoms of Bharatvarsha, perform great sacrifices, and uphold justice. No warrior will ever surpass him." Responding to Pandu's wishes, Kunti invoked the mighty Indra. Under the brilliance of the god's blessing, she bore a son named Arjuna, destined to become the greatest archer the world would ever know. At the moment of Arjuna's birth, the heavens rejoiced. A divine voice proclaimed, "This child will perform great sacrifices, conquer all realms, and become the greatest warrior of his time. His deeds will rival those of Vishnu and Parashurama." With the birth of Arjuna, Pandu's heart swelled with happiness. In his sons, Yudhishthira, Bhima, and Arjuna, he saw the future of the Kuru dynasty secured. Though Pandu now had 3 sons, his desire for more heirs lingered. One day, he turned to Kunti once more. "We have strength and righteousness, but let us have one more son to ensure our dynasty's greatness." Kunti, weary from the divine births, pleaded with Pandu, "We have fulfilled our duty to the Kuru dynasty. We have sons, let this be enough." But Pandu's longing for another child persisted, and he struggled to resist the temptation. Though the desire for more heirs tugged at his heart, Pandu realized that the path he had chosen, of asceticism and penance, was the right one. With the 3 sons Kunti had borne him, Pandu felt some solace that the Kuru dynasty would continue to thrive. While Kunti rejoiced in the birth of her 3 sons, Yudhishthira, Bhima, and Arjuna, Madri, Pandu's second wife, grew restless and sad. Although she loved Pandu, she felt overshadowed by Kunti's children and struggled with her place within the family. One day, Pandu noticed her sorrow and gently asked, "Madri, why are you unhappy?" Madri confided in Pandu, "Although I love you, I feel neglected. Kunti has 3 powerful sons, and the entire attention of this family is upon them. I want sons of my own, children who will call me their mother. But I find it difficult to ask Kunti for help. Could you ask her on my behalf?" Understanding Madri's plight, Pandu assured her, "I suspected this was troubling you. I will ask Kunti right away. She will surely agree to help." Pandu approached Kunti with Madri's request. Without hesitation, Kunti agreed to share the sacred mantra. "Madri can use the mantra once," Kunti said. "Let her call upon any god she wishes." In a secluded part of the forest, Kunti guided Madri through the invocation. Confused about whom to summon, Madri pondered for a moment and decided to call upon the Ashvins, the twin divine horsemen known for their beauty, strength, and healing abilities. The Ashvins answered Madri's call, and from their blessing she bore twin sons, Nakula and Sahadeva. As the twins were born, a heavenly voice echoed through the forest. "These sons will be blessed with beauty, bravery, and prosperity. They shall bring honor to the Kuru dynasty." Madri was overjoyed, grateful for the gift of motherhood. With the birth of Nakula and Sahadeva, the 5 sons of Pandu, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva, came to be known as the Pandavas. Though content with 5 sons, Pandu's desire for more heirs began to grow. "The more sons we have, the stronger our lineage will become," he reasoned. One day he approached Kunti with a request. "Please use the mantra again for Madri," Pandu asked. "It will strengthen our dynasty." But Kunti firmly refused. "I allowed her to use the mantra once, but she invoked 2 gods at the same time and had twins. If I grant her another chance, she may bear more sons than me, and I cannot allow that." Oh. Despite the tension between the 2 wives, the 5 Pandavas grew up in harmony. They were gifted children, each excelling in their unique strengths. For 15 years, the Pandavas grew up in the remote forests, far from the luxuries of royal life. They spent their days learning from the wise sages who lived among them, mastering both the art of war and the wisdom of the scriptures. Their upbringing, though far from the palace walls of Hastinapura, instilled in them a deep sense of discipline, humility, and reverence for knowledge. Yudhishthira grew into a young man of wisdom and justice, destined to become a ruler who would always adhere to Dharma. Bhima became known for his colossal strength, effortlessly subduing wild animals and showcasing his unmatched power. Arjuna, meanwhile, honed his skills in archery, showing signs of becoming the greatest warrior of his time. Even the younger twins, Nakula and Sahadeva, grew into remarkable individuals. Nakula was known for his beauty and mastery over horses, while Sahadeva displayed deep knowledge and wisdom beyond his years. The bond between the brothers grew unbreakable as they navigated the trials of life in the forest. Each of them brought something unique to the group: strength, wisdom, skill, beauty, and insight, making them a formidable team destined to leave a lasting legacy. One fateful day, as Pandu strolled through the forest with Madri, the beauty of spring overwhelmed him. As he gazed at Madri, her figure draped in translucent clothing, Pandu was overcome with desire. In a moment of weakness, he forgot the curse that loomed over him. As Pandu held Madri in his arms, the curse of the sage Kendama took its toll. Pandu collapsed, lifeless, leaving Madri devastated and in tears. Kunti and the Pandavas arrived at the scene to find Madri overwhelmed with grief. "You knew of the curse," Kunti cried. "Why didn't you stop him?" Madri, still sobbing, replied, "I tried, but it was as if he was compelled to fulfill his destiny." Unable to bear the loss of her husband, Madri decided to commit sati, the ancient practice of joining her husband in death by leaping into his funeral pyre. Despite Kunti's pleas, Madri remained resolute. "You have the strength to raise our children," she said. "Let me follow Pandu." With heavy hearts, Kunti and the Pandavas returned to Hastinapura. Pandu's reign had ended, and the royal family mourned his tragic death. The 5 Pandavas, though still children, were now the future of the Kuru dynasty. Though their journey began in the quiet forests of Shatashringa, the Pandavas were now poised to step into the heart of power and intrigue in Hastinapura. The trials of the forest had forged them into warriors and leaders, but their true challenges were only beginning. United by an unbreakable bond, the 5 brothers would soon find themselves at the center of an epic tale that would shape the destiny of Bharat. Join us next time on Whispers of Legacy as we continue this epic journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay connected with the stories that matter. Until next time, keep the legacy alive.